Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Strife's Sanctum podcast. My name is Citizen Strife, and this week I'm beginning another run into Mega Man with Mega May. And it's Mega Man 5 and Mega Man X5 this year. Gotta say, Mega Man 5 was a bit disappointing. I mean, I already kind of knew that the formula was going to wear thin until it got to like Mega Man 7 or God forbid Mega Man X7, right? But the level of which like my excitement has petered since 3 through 4 through 5 just solidifies more and more. And getting back into it, I'm just like, I wanted to like this and I really couldn't. Because I'm always excited by like remembering what the music sounded like and what the worlds were like, and you know, for what they are, especially for NES games, like what they can do for an NES game. Where is the originality? Where is the intrigue? It's not a whole lot here anymore, and I'm kind of just waiting for Mega Man 7, to be honest. So early sign is bad, but as usual, I'm going to talk about most of the stuff in detail because I have my system and I'm going to talk about it. So in order, as far as plot, same as the last game, except switch Proto Man for Dr. Cossack, but it's totally Dr. Wily, because of course it is. Because what game doesn't have Wily or Sigma as the main villain? Mega Man X8. Anyway, let's see. We've got usual standard 8 bosses, but again, just like a Castlevania game, you kind of want this. You kind of want it to at least be solid enough. Is this my first choice? No, but hey, there are some good enemies at least. There are some good stages at least. It's just they're not great anymore. Let's see. We've got Wave Man. We'll start at Wave Man. Steam vents, steam pipes, the floaty bubble section. So you get through the steam vents and the steam pipes and the things. It's kind of Toad Man-esque and Water Man-esque without the floating waterfall of doom messing with your eyes. It gets the floaty bubbles bit with potentially some spike areas. And the one good thing I will say about Wave Man is it has a jet ski section. It's not quite Jet Stingray, but at least it's a proof of concept, if nothing else. It's proof of concept for how awesome Jet Stingray is going to be. And, you know, at least something. You know, it's something good, something cool. You can move the jet ski back and forth. You can shoot it. You can jump it. It's something. It's not a water level, you know, completely. Because my main issue, and this is gonna hold true for pretty much every one of the songs here, there's not a lot to like. I don't know who they got to be the composer this time, but it's a lot of beep boop, almost like a Game Boy game. It doesn't have any of the crazy metal that I'm used to. It doesn't have the hard rock edge that even something lesser like a Mega Man X3 would have. It's just, stuff is there. Like, there's a couple songs, Starman, whatnot, that are cool sci-fi element stuff, but I'll just say this across the board. The only song I really liked was one of the Proto Man songs, like the first one, and I think the Wily song. And that might have been true for the fourth game, too. But, yeah, I'm just going to say this up front. None of the songs are great. So, level's fine. Wave Man himself's not too hard. He does his water wave that, like, shoots up from the bottom, and then he shoots you with harpoons from an angle. Or from a horizontal, and then he jumps, because almost everything jumps. But you beat him, and you get the water wave, which is at least nice. It's a different type of water weapon. At least it flows upwards. Starman. This one is kind of neat because you get low gravity space. I find there's another level that plays with the low gravity mechanic a little better, and it's actually called Gravity Man, But Starman is star level, and these are the two levels that, like, their songs are the most unique because they at least try for, like, pseudo sci-fi musings and weird time signatures and kind of creepy, not horror vibes, but just different. Because a lot of the other songs are just kind of there. At least this one has some effort of, okay, at least you're trying a different genre, you're trying a different sign or a different sound. It works. And again, the low gravity stuff can mess with you trying to avoid spikes, especially on the ceilings and the floors. That's kind of the gimmick of Starman. Starman himself, I mean, not really bad. You just use Water Wave and stop him, and you get Star Crash. And Star Crash is your circular shield, because every game has to have a circular shield. Gravity Man at least gives you something where it messes with flipping the floor and flipping Mega Man. So you flip where you are because of these arrows on the wall in the background. So if you go to one facing up, Mega Man goes up and you have to be on the sidewall. If it goes down, you go down, and they fuck with you in the sense that you got to gauge your jumps and you got to gauge where you are because of the spikes. Or there's actually one spot where if you fall down or if you fall upward, you actually die. So, like, they make it like an instant death pit in the ceiling. I thought that was really neat. Other than that, I wasn't too impressed by Gravity Man. Other than that, Gravity Man's cool in the sense that he doesn't really jump at you. He just kind of falls on you. His idea is he will flip the gravity and he will try to basically on you. And he does a lot of damage, because contact damage is king, because fuck you. But Gravity Man gets done. And you go to Gyro Man. This one is where the game starts to get very samey. Rainbow bridges. So the idea is jumping in the rainbow sky, Airman, Electric Man, stuff like that. But you go on these bridges. And once you go on the bridges, they towards you, and then you fall. So the story of the level is just hitting the bridges and then staying with it. I think, if I remember right, this is another level. There's also like floaty pads at the bottom. Like, there's also a lot of jumping near the end where it's a lot of like death pit things, and you have to keep running to avoid the death pit stuff from falling and capture, got to outrace the falling bits, stuff like that. So it's not anything amazing, sadly, but at least they're giving you rainbow stuff. That's kind of neat. He shoots a lot of gyro rings at you, and he jumps. So you use gravity hold on him, and he basically gonna kind of like flash stopper. He just kind of just stops there and dies. Let's see, Crystal Man. Crystal Mine, not super spectacular, nothing amazing. It does have a lot of falling crystals on the ceiling. So Crystal Man does Crystal Eye. He's just shooting crystal eyes at you and jumping and stuff like that. I want to say it's kind of like Shotgun Ice, but I forget if that's the one or if I'm thinking of a different weapon off there. There's Napalm Man, which is jungle Vietnam level. So it's a jungle level. There's a cave with a water system. Water, moves you around, and then you move to the factory. And then you got a tank in the backdrop of the boss fight. It's nice visual stuff. I mean, a little to be referencing Vietnam of all things, especially with the name called Napalm Man. But game came out in like 91, 92-ish. So I guess it's fine. It's not the worst thing you could do. Napalm Man himself shoots you with napalm, because that's what he does. He shoots you with bombs, and then of course he jumps. But you beat him with Crystal Eye, you get to shoot napalm bombs at him, and then you get to go to Stone Man, who, God forbid, another mining level. I don't mean to just rag on, but mining levels are like the most boring thing in Mega Man. They just are. The only time I was ever happy with a tunnel level was Armored Armadillo, because you got to ride the freaking cart. And you got that thing to chase you with the big spikes thing that you shoot with a fire wave. Like, everything else is just, it's just a tunnel. I mean, Tunnel Rhino is boring. It's just, I mean, Flame Stag at least has, lava and shit coming after you. But in essence, it's a mine level. But anything that's just a mining level, it's just nothing interesting about it. And speaking of nothing interesting, is Stone Man. His weapon is fucking terrible, because it shoots out, but it doesn't shoot out like Star Crush. It shoots out and then in a different circle, but you may actually just miss. It's if it's too close to you, it won't hit, but if it's too far away, the circle may still miss you. And it's just like, or miss the enemy, and it's just dumb. And it's sad, because it's not the shooty weapon. It's not even the water wave up to the ceiling. They move in a circle. It's stupid. So I think Stone Man has been considered like the worst weapon, Power Stone. And yeah, it seeing it again lives up to its bad reputation. And Charge Man, one of the few other levels I liked, because it's a moving train. They don't do a whole lot with it, but at least the effort was made. It's like a moving train, and then you jump on it, and then you jump in the train, and then you jump again, and then Charge Man at least, charges you like a train, so he has some intrigue. So it's like, of any of the bosses, maybe he's the one that's actually got the most effort put in, because realistically, like, not many of these bosses have a lot of interesting things about them, which is unfortunate. Let's get to Proto Castle 1. Again, I like this song. I can't say it's my favorite, because Wily 2 exists. Dr. Cossack's pretty cool, and I think even Wily 2, Wily 3. Like, Wily 2, Wily 3, Cossack were all good. Some of the other secondary songs were decent enough, and I think Sigma 1 is awesome. And I think, like, the X Hunters bass, those are the ones I distinctly remember. This is not as good as those, but it's for what this soundtrack offers. Like, I'm not impressed. So having something halfway decent that I liked listening to was good. But most of the levels aren't super crazy. You've got level 1, which is just kind of an outer wall. There's not really a whole bunch to it. It's a pink level, which is a bit distracting, but it's pink, so whatever. You fight a Dark Man, he just shoots stuff, and you just shoot him, and you win. Second level is inside wall. There's a lot of weird platforms, a spiking area. Darkman 2 just charges you, throws a shield at you, and then Proto Man 3, just another outer level. Realistically, Proto Man 4 is the one that's interesting. It's a shorter section where, like, the lower levels just kind of get destroyed, and it keeps destroying itself and destroying itself and destroying itself, and you're caught in it. You actually die. So you have to be smart about where you're landing and whatnot. So destructible environment sort of thing was at least a nice touch. So on the rare occasion, there's some good stuff in this game. It's just kind of, hit and miss here and there. But Proto Man does Proto Man things, and oh no, it's Dr. Wily! Because of course it's Dr. Wily. Why not? Stage 1 of Dr. Wily, spikes and instant death pits, because it does Dustman stuff of lowered ceilings. Boss there really wasn't all that interesting. I don't remember him too much. There's water level, stage 2. You get plasma cannons. I don't think you have anything as cool and unique or as frustrating as that, like, boss that's like, It's not the same one, but there's that boss in one of the games where it's like he slides into the screen, out the screen, and then comes back into the middle and you shoot him. I think this one is more he stays in the center, but you gotta shoot him in the center as he's shooting stuff out at you, if I remember correctly. But yeah, you get to boss rush, because of course there's boss rush, why not? Wily tries to smash you because he's a giant machine that just tries to squash you. And then Wily machine number 5, just the shooty one with the skull face with the shooty, and you shoot him in the face. And then Wily Capsule, he disappears a little bit, but not quite in the same way as I think it's Wily 2, where it gets all dark. It's more that he himself disappears and you use Beat. If you've got all the Mega Man 5 logos, you find those throughout the stage. You do that, Beat shows you where Wily is, and then you shoot him, and it's done. And then everything happens, and Proto Man saves you, and all that happens, and yeah, Mega Man 5 just kind of exists, which is kind of sad, you know? I think there's at least more to 6, and, you know, once I get to it, like, I might think more of it. But as the series goes on, you really start to just feel for it. And you feel like, okay, at least with 7, it's a Super Nintendo. They're going to have some ideas. With Mega Man 8, they moved another one to the PlayStation, and but at least it's on the PlayStation. They might have some other ideas. And then Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10 are retro-inspired, so they're fairly unique. But it's really at this point, and I hope that when I get to Mega Man X5, because I don't remember liking Mega Man X5 much. I liked Mega Man X4 when I first played it, and then when I got to it again. But if Mega Man X5 ends up kind of the same bleh as this, it's very sad and uninteresting, because it's one of those things where, looking back on it, you're just like, Mega Man 1 was what it was, right? Mega Man 2, fantastic. Answered all the things I would have wanted and done everything. Mega Man 3, still freaking good. And then, like, everything after just sits in that, yeah, it's a Mega Man game. It's always going to be good enough. But it makes you wonder why you want to play it when 3 better games exist. You know, it's not something to dig out and play again unless you just want to play it. So I would just say skip it and move on. So would I recommend Mega Man 5? Not if you want to play any of the other ones. If you're doing it for completion's sake, you're not really going to get anything out of it either. So, it's a Mega Man game. And that's about the best thing I can say to it. So this one's going to be a nice shorter one. I don't usually do short reviews anymore, but yeah, there's just not much meat on the bone, to be honest. Yeah. But that'll do it for today. And yeah, like I said, other than this, the anime reviews, I'm going to be doing Mega Man X5 next. But I'm going to see if I can load up my list here. Because Discord, of all things, is down. That's fun. Discord is down, so I can't check my list. So that's just lovely, isn't it? But from what I can remember, I've got To Your Eternity. I've got In the Clear Moonlit Dusk. I've got some other good ones here and there. I've also got that re-review of Breath of Fire 3, The Story of Above Average. So, you know, lot more interesting takes on things, because, you know, they're games like this, and apologies if you hear my fan and all. I was trying to load the screen just now. But yeah, not perfect. Sometimes games just exist. They exist in the ether. You pass them, you play them, you exist, they're fine, and then you move on. But I wonder if it's true. Like, it's better to be bad than boring, because that's exactly what this is. This is like that tipping point of right down the middle. Like, you want a Mega Man game and that's all you want? This is what it is. So take it for what it's worth. But that'll do for today. Nice shorter review, I suppose. And I will see you next time. Citizen Strife, signing off.